everybody, it's me, Anthony Coach, a guitarist on YouTube. Now I know what you're thinking, you've read the title of the video, you've seen the fluorescent Ibanez and you think that I'm going to do some crazy, tasteless shred over a classic song. That could be true, but it's not really. If you're new to this channel, what I tend to do is take really big famous songs and analyse them and then show my analysis in the form of a video, and then we all can grow as musicians and learn. So that's what this is. This is me knowing this song, knowing this solo, but then using a little bit of music theory to see if we can just change some stuff. Because that is really important, not just to practice all our licks and shred stuff, which I've got loads of on my channel, you can check those out, but to know the theory and to know when and how and why to apply it. And before we get going on this video, I would like to know the obvious question down in those comments: what is your favourite Jimi Hendrix track? His career in music was tragically short, but still a catalogue of songs to choose from. I want to know down there, what is your favourite Jimi track? Okay, with this song, chances are that you've probably jammed over this song. A lot of guitarists have, and you know what? There is a lot to be said for using the minor pentatonic scale over everything, over all these chord changes. All that good stuff that we all enjoy playing over those chords. But we're going to have a look at a different approach. And what comes with having a look at a piece of music with any approach, with any kind of depth, is analysing the chords and the structure of the chords. So the chords in this song, and I'm on standard tuning, I know that Jimi used to tune to E flat standard. I'm not doing that. It keeps all the names of notes nice and normal. I'm not going to do that. The first chord is a C sharp minor chord, C sharp, E, G sharp. That's the ba-da-da. The second chord is a B major chord, B, D sharp, F sharp, and the last chord is an A major chord, A, C sharp, E, E, and then back to B. Okay. So then it makes complete sense why the C sharp minor pentatonic scale works over all these chords, because at one point the notes of the C sharp minor pentatonic scale are accounted for in those chords. We've got C sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp and B. However, we're going to have a look at a couple of different approaches and all about target notes. You know, that's the phrase of my last couple of months. And it's what I'm all about at the minute. Playing target notes, thinking of targets. What does that even mean? If you've seen my other videos, you might be on track with where I'm going with this. If not, let's think about that first chord, C sharp minor. And that C sharp minor chord, C sharp, E, G sharp, that means that we can play the root note of that chord. Okay? Because it's in the chord, so it's a nice strong sound. Over that B chord, we can play that root note, which is a B. And then over the A chord, A, C sharp, E, we can play the root of that. And use those as target notes. So, I mean, in a really boring way, this is how that sounds. But that's way too boring. Often, when you start thinking about target notes and really plotting out all these dots that you're going to join together, you forget that you're playing an instrument and your instrument is meant to sing. So you can think of hundreds and hundreds of ways of getting from there to there. And the simplest one that I came up with was unison bends. You know, we could just go where momentarily we're playing two notes, two semitones below the target note, but then we bend up immediately to it. You could slide down to them. You can do a mix and match of them all. This is what it sounds like if you just do unison bends. It sounds very, very Hendrixy. So already we've got a bit of a phrase there. I mean, it's not the most inventive thing in the world, but it's got its roots, pun intended, firmly planted in those chords because you're outlining the root notes of each chord. What about if we took this further and had a look at the thirds of each of those chords? So instead of outlining the root of C sharp minor, B major, A minor, we used the thirds as target notes. So that would be E, D sharp, and C sharp. And this is how that sounds. I like this one. It sounds less obvious than root notes. It's just a nice sound. Again, very, very strong. Not as obvious sounding as playing root notes of your chords, but still follows the chord progression. You get a nice melodic structure just off playing the thirds. But again, it's still too boring. So I just added some twiddly bits. What could we do? If we've got these as target notes, you could do something like... Did you hear that? So it went... yeah. Yeah, so it starts on... So that's joining the dots between that E and that D sharp, which is the third of those first two chords. I could have gone really crazy, really tastelessly crazy, something like... and then... something like that. In the end I settled with something a little bit more modest and came up with this to join those dots. And I like that. It sounds okay. You know, it's not the most amazing guitar melody ever written, but I know everything that I'm doing when I play it. I know that I'm targeting thirds, and I know that whatever goes on in between those targets doesn't really matter. I could have gone, you know, I could have done some Yngwie stuff. I could have done some sweep picking. I could have done some tapping in a Hendrix solo. That would have really annoyed a lot of people, I'm sure. But I didn't. I just kept it simple. But I could have done those things as long as I was using those target notes and thinking of them as little dots, dot to dot. But wait, there's more, because we did that just in one octave. You could take this one step further and find those exact same notes just an octave higher, and already you've got scope for doubling up on your ideas with your twiddly bits in as well. Whoops. This is how that sounds. Okay, and probably now you're way ahead of me. We've outlined the roots, the thirds, so now naturally we're going to outline those fifths. Those fifths being G sharp, F sharp, and E. What did I say? But we don't have to use that stepwise motion if we don't want to. I made a point of choosing notes that weren't necessarily together. Still those notes, but I play the G sharp down there, then the F sharp up here, then the E down there. Just because, just to keep things varied. This is how it sounds over the chords. Nice targets. What about if we added some twiddly bits in between? And again, you can be inventive with those bits. And I like that one. Something like that, where you can hear that bam, target note, target note, target note, whatever. This is what I did on the recording. A little bit more tastelessly shreddy, not really in the spirit of Jimi Hendrix, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, I put it all together and just came up with, you know, it sounds okay. Rewriting the most famous solo in the world, not competing with Jimi Hendrix by any stretch, but using music theory to know exactly what I'm playing and why. And it sounded like this in the end. So what do you think? I'm still on a mission to anger the entire internet by coming up with bold claims like this. I'll do some more until I start getting hate comments. I have been, and forever will be, Anthony Couch, a guitarist on YouTube. I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.